Hey guys, how you doing? We're back at it today, and I think the last video I made was on Saturday. It's now Wednesday. We had like freezing rain one day. We had about 3 inches of snow the next day. And then I kind of got caught up in watching way too many videos about how to rebuild a Saginaw pump, which it turns out that the power steering pump on the Dodge is what's known as a Saginaw pump. They've been making these things since before I was born. It's a rotary pump of some sort, and it's very easy to rebuild. So I've been watching videos because I've been thinking about rebuilding it just to see if I could. And the basic reason I'm not going to rebuild it is I can buy a rebuilt Saginaw pump for a Cummins for under $60 plus the core, whereas if I rebuild it and screw up the adapter that goes into the vacuum pump, that piece alone is anywhere from 65 to over 100 on the internet. So I think it's one of those cases where you just go with the rebuilt, which is what most of the world would do anyways, and just you know, pray they did it right. Hopefully there's good quality control in the factory. But let me show you where we are right now, show you a few of the not obstacles, but just learning experiences. The first time you do anything, there's going to be learning experiences. So let me show you where we are, and then we'll move forward from there. Here is our vacuum pump assembly and our power steering pump. And again, this is off of a 2002. So I have what's known as a two-section vacuum pump. One section, two section. There's a video by a guy, I believe it's Gould pumps. I'll put links below all these videos of resources I've used to figure this out. He's got an awesome video, which I'm pretty sure I mentioned already, that goes over everything you need to know about this vacuum pump. And he's also got a really great kit to rebuild them. And then this little piece here, is the piece that goes for the oil supply line. This little black here, you know, I thought for some reason there was rubber on it, which confused the heck out of me because I didn't think there should be. But I took a pick and I scraped the rubber, and I probably shouldn't have, and realized it is all metal. So I didn't touch the sealing surface. I did put a slight scratch here. We're just going to go with that because I'm pretty sure for these fittings, the sealing all occurs down here. So there's a wire loom that hooks onto the top vacuum pump bolt. There's like 5 different wires. There's a big chunk of them. And then there's a wire loom that hooks on over here as well. And when I was taking this off, you know, when I started taking this out, the stud came out. I ended up having to put a wrench on to lock this bolt and then undo this one. And what I noticed also is there's a bunch of anti-seize on this bolt. So I want to say that this doesn't look right, but I don't really know how else you would do it. There's a wire loom on the bottom of the pump, and then there is a stud for the pump. But what I think I'm going to end up doing, this is a lock washer, a lock nut. And again, I'm not sure if it's supposed to be or not, but it is a lock nut. If we were just doing the power steering pump, all I would do is undo these 4 bolts that attach the power steering pump to the vacuum pump, slide it out, and then there's a coupler in there. Make sure the coupler lines up with the coupler in there, and then put it back in, tighten it down, pop it back in the truck. Since my truck is an 02, vacuum pump has never been rebuilt, I might as well go ahead and rebuild it now. So we're going to rebuild the vacuum pump as well. And this is what a Cardone rebuild looks like. I got this one from Rock Auto. I know it was under 60 bucks. Plus the core. This is the gasket that came off the pump, and then I ordered the Cummins replacement. So this is a genuine Cummins replacement, and you see how there's like a ridge on that gasket. So I am assuming we're going to put the flat part against the timing cover and the ridge against the vacuum pump. Well, I needed a new clamp, so first I ordered a 4-inch clamp because I measured it and it was 4 inches. And the clamp I ordered, it's one of these road former clamps. It was a little bit too big. I did get stainless in the screws so that the screws don't rust out again. The second time around, I ordered just the road former, and this is 3 3/4 inch clamp. I almost think I need the next size down, and I'll probably order the next size down just in case. You know, it's stupid stuff like this that's common sense if you do it every day, but it's causing me a little bit of trouble. I did order a new oil supply line from Cummins, and I do have 2 of these gaskets as well. I just don't understand why somebody put these green tabs back on the power steering pump. These studs before 1970, they used a flare fitting for the pressure line, and they used a 3/8 inch SAE stud in here. After 1970, they went to metric. So I ordered some replacement studs, but they were actually the 3/8 16, when I believe I need 10 by 1.5 metrics to fit in those holes. I have a stud tester, both 3/8 and 10 by 1.5 fit in. The 10 by 1.5 felt a little bit looser, and again, on the internet, what I read was if you try to put a 3/8 and a 10 by 1.5, 3/8 16 and a 10 by 1.5, when you give it the final torque, you'll end up cracking something on the pump, and that's no good. So I will go out and purchase a couple bolts that are stainless, 10 by 1.5, make sure I don't get them too long, and put them on there just to have something to hold the cover tight and to keep it sealed. All right, guys, why don't we go ahead and start taking this puppy apart, because that's some form of progress. So the bottom 2 studs have other things going on. So bottom stud away from the block is going to have the extended stud for that electrical wire. Bottom stud closer to the block is going to have the bracket for mounting to the block as well. And this bracket, the longer leg connects to the stud, and it goes back underneath the power steering pump. These studs on top are quite close to the vacuum pump. Could be tough if your socket or your wrench is thick walled. It could be tough to get it in there. All right, so this one, the stud's coming out as well. So there it is. That got it. The last guy that did this was very liberal with the anti-seize. There's a lot of copper anti-seize in there. So hats off for that. The manual said one of the studs was going to be longer where that wire loom is, but I am not seeing that.